ENGMT.
Commence, mon cher.
Morning, Chairman Co-Chair, Regional President, Regional Vice President, General Secretary, Africa HK staff, dear parents, dear leaders, dear second generation. I want to know if we can start.
Mon cher, commence.
OK, thank you. Bonjour encore à tout le monde. Je crois qu'il y a déjà la traduction.
So good morning once more to everyone. I think there's interpretation now. So I'm going to speak in English. I'm going to speak in French to help the French speakers. So welcome. So this on the K and the Heavenly Parents and true parents, bless your presence here. We are going to show the program with the help of the technical team so we can be informed of the unveiling of today's program. If the technical team can publish, show the program, display the program on the screen, please.
OK. Merci beaucoup.
Okay, thank you. So we're going to start with the opening of the room that has already been done. Then the greetings already done by the MC. We are going to sing greet our heavenly parents and true parents of heaven and earth, humankind. Then recite the family pledge number 7 and number 8. The opening prayer will be given by Ganyo Nancy. The one bouquet will be read by Reverend Verity Ledwaba, the original director of the Region South. Then we're going to have the opening remarks of the regional presidents. And then session 3 that will be developed by Reverend So and Shirley and couple, because today we're talking about families, we're talking about parents, so it's normal that Mrs. should be beside when Mr. will be presenting. Then we're going to have an interlude given by G.A. Grass of Liberia. Then move on to the fourth session by the Sub-Regional Director of Sub-Region West, who is Reverend George Curry, together with Mrs. Jackie Ogurie. And then we're going to have the announcement followed by the words of encouragement of Channel 1 coach Reverend Bakari Camara. And then we'll receive the closing remarks by the regional president.
Notre MC semble avoir des difficultés au niveau de sa connexion.
MC seems to have difficulties at the level of internet. So while waiting for him to come back, good morning, dear family. Good morning, everyone. We're going to continue from where he stopped, and when he'll come, he'll continue.
Merci beaucoup.
So thank you very much. We are just going to continue.
Nous allons pouvoir présenter la photo de nos chers parents.
Now we present the picture of our dear children so we can greet them and read family page number 7 and number 8. If the technical team can help us present true parents picture and then the family page. If we're all ready there, brothers and sisters, let's all be well seated for those who are in front of your screen and those who are in the churches. You can stand up to offer the full bow to heavenly parents and true parents. Children, Chapuanimge, Kiambe, Baho. We are going to recite a family pledge. Page number 7. Our family don't know Chinese group. Pledges through the for the sake of others.
De mener une
Furthermore,
vie des autres liée au lignage originel afin de construire le monde de la culture du cœur. Numéro 8. Notre famille.
Number 8. Our family.
En se centrant sur l'amour, de réaliser dans l'ère de Chonlegouk l'idéal d'unité dans l'amour entre Dieu et l'être humain, grâce à une foi, un amour et une obéissance absolue, afin de délivrer et libérer pleinement la terre et le ciel et d'y établir le royaume de Dieu. Merci beaucoup. Nous allons demander.
Thank you very much. We are going to ask to Camara to offer the opening prayer. Nancy, you have the floor. Thank you.
Vous m'entendez?
Can you get me? Yes, we can get you. Dear Johnny One Co-Chair, dear Regional President, dear Regional Vice President, please join me in prayer. Let's pray. Beloved Heavenly Parent, parents of heaven and earth, humankind, good morning. Here we are once more time this special day.
Ensemble avec nos parents.
For the session that will permit us to be educated with our parents.
Mais rien de vous dire quoi que ce soit, nous voulons tout d'abord vous demander pardon.
We want to first of all by signs up because we know we did not always accomplish our own path of responsibility. And we equally want to thank you for permitting us to be in front of you in this moment. I really want to pray that more than asking for forgiveness, we want to pray that you give us the chance and opportunity to renew our foundations.
Tirer des solutions, parents éternels, mais aussi parents éternels, des leçons qui permettront à ce que nous puissions davantage encore vous offrir en ce set humain une offrande pure, une offrande, parents éternels, encore que vous allez pouvoir accepter. Parce que nous savons, parents éternels, que
we want to pray that you permit us to be acceptable offerings. I want to offer all those who gather to be
de pouvoir faire en sorte,
in front of you in this moment. I pray that
parents célestes, offrir, parents éternels, nous offrir complètement à vous.
Give them us really completely of ourselves to you, because throughout the history of the providence, you've always looked for your children.
Qui nous a été offert de pouvoir, parents éternels,
So when
encore
we see that we have the opportunity of being in front of you in this moment, it's just an opportunity that many of your children do not have. We are so grateful. We want to pray with this session. I really want to pray that these sessions that we're going to, the education are going to receive from our parents should help us really understand
éternel arrivé.
the path we have to follow.
En ce moment et en ce lieu, demandons votre présence. Demandons à toutes ces personnes qui vont pouvoir intervenir. Afin
So
que
I
vous
really want to pray that it should be with all those who are going to intervene one another. We should really be protected and please inspire them more. We pray they should be able to speak through them so that everything that will be said
ce que nos très chers parents aussi attendent, faut encore venir laisser cette prière au nom de toutes ces
should be
personnes.
what they are waiting for. I really want to offer this prayer in the name of all those gathered here. And my name, Daniel Nasima, for the Central Family. Joe, thank you very much, Daniel. I'm sorry for my technical issues. So without wasting more time, we're going to receive the Director of South Region South, Ran Leguaba Moritzi, for the Hondoke reading. So, Reverend Leguaba Moritzi, you have the floor for the Hondoke reading.
Morty, you have the floor.
Good morning, Program Director. Thank you very much. Good morning, our regional Chomi One co-chair. Good morning, Regional President, Madam VP. And good morning, brothers and sisters. Bonjour, bon dia. Our Hunduke this morning is from the Chonsonyo, Book 3, True Love, Chapter 2, The Realms of True Love, Section 3, The Love of Husband and Wife. 5. You
Morty, you are there?
Il a quelques difficultés à l'Internet.
OK. Si la technique peut nous envoyer, si possible, un intermède.
Good morning, dear friends. I will be continuing from the reading.
Okay, well, thank you, Somi.
Number 5. You have to know the value of human life. A husband is the representative of God. A wife is also the representative of God. A mother and a father, and each of you also, are God's representatives. A father represents 4 general positions: grandfather, father, husband, and son. An heir and heiress couple then appears, representing these 4 loves. That is why conjugal love is so precious. When conjugal love breaks down, all human love, grandparents' love, parents' love, and sibling love is shattered and disperses. This is natural because people live to serve God in this universe. Starting from each person, the love of grandparents, parents, and siblings begins to bud. Upon the foundation of thousands of years of life connections through lineage and through horizontal multiplication, There emerges a tribe based on the families, a people based on the tribes, a nation based on the peoples, a world, and then the kingdom of heaven. Number 6. After you marry, you cannot behave just as you like. You should live in such a way that you can receive the love of God. Human beings are born as a man or a woman for the sake of love. The husband and wife are to become one through love. What happens when two beings, separated according to the dual characteristics of God, come together in a perfect union? They receive the love of God. In order to receive God's love, a woman unites with a man and a man unites with a woman. Otherwise, there is no way to encounter God's love. Only through God's love can you stand in the same place He stands. You are able to stand next to God. Why did God request this degree of love from Adam and Eve? It is because only based on this degree of love can people unite as one with God. Conjugal love is meant to connect with God's love. When you receive God's love, you can stand in the same place as He. In the presence of the concept that this is called conjugal love, a man and woman stand firmly in the same position. In love, two become one. They cannot depart from each other. They have collective responsibility always. Number 7. The question is whether a man and woman are united in mind and body. As much as the whole cosmos likes this perfect unity, it can occur only on the foundation of true love. As a man or as a woman, the question is whether or not you stand in that position of perfect oneness. Today, this is the problem that philosophy and religion have to solve. We have not realized that a man absolutely needs a wife and a woman absolutely needs a husband. For a man, the being of greatest value is his wife. For a woman, the being of greatest value is her husband. Before meeting God, a man needs his wife, and a woman needs her husband. The unity in flesh, the oneness of husband and wife is based on love. Life, maintaining purity, pure lineage, and pure love. Parents need to educate their children about how to practice true love. Everything I'm saying relates to the family. Husband and wife should maintain purity of mind and body and attain oneness of heart. Then they must educate their children about true love by their example. Will children obey a father who is a drunkard and physically abuses their mother? Will children obey a mother who habitually deceives and lies to their father? Parents need to educate their children about true love through their own actions. It's not just education, but education by example. I'm saying the way to educate your children about true love is by practicing it first. Educate by example. Write this as your family motto, frame it and mount it on the wall. Write it with a heart of profound devotion. Adieu.
Joe, merci beaucoup à notre sœur Soumi. Nous allons à présent recevoir celui-là même qui est le papa de l'Afrique, celui-là même sur qui repose toute la destinée de notre continent, de notre région.
Thank you very much. We are now going to receive the father of this continent, and together we are going to offer with a round of applause Reverend Jean-Pierre Kadima for his opening remarks.
Merci, Reverend Begrin.
Thank you, Reverend Begre, for giving me the floor this morning. I say good morning to the 21 co-chair and Bakari, to the regional vice president, to the secretary general, to all the sub-regional directors, and to our parents of the heavenly parents, our parents of the heavenly parents, holy community. It's an honor and a privilege for me to take the floor this morning for the opening of this session, the opening of this day. It's really a privilege that together as a family, we are gathered early in the morning to unite with the word, the holy scriptures, the word of true parents, and to be able to share, preparing ourselves to receive grace and blessings in this year of the Black Rabbit. And all this, we do that because we have a purpose, and this purpose is to bless a great number of our children. And so we have to remember, we have to remember that our responsibility and role now is to practice this word given by our true parents. Because if we do that, we'll be these model couples, these model families, as wanted by our true mother. So it is in this sense that we are coming this morning so that together, centered on three generations and centered on the truth, love, and the words that have been given by true parents so that we can start this new day quickly with the goal of the success of the blessing 2023. Once more, you're all welcome. May the love of our parents be with all the essential families present here, and also with those who would have loved to join us but could not. So you're all welcome. Thank you very much. A round of applause, a round of applause for our regional president. Thank you very much, regional president. So we have started. Parents and the families have to be ideal families centered on the care and the tradition of our community. Once more, a round of applause for our regional president of Shan Africa. Now we are going to move on to the first session of this day, which will be given by the director of Sub-Region North. It is said that we should not leave the North, and this is very important. That is why our Sub-Regional Director, Reverend Sudawere, is here to help us not leave the North. So let's all welcome Reverend Su. Don't worry, accompanied by his spouse. For this first presentation, please a round of applause to welcome Reverend Sudawere.
Merci beaucoup. Merci, MC.
Thank you very much. Thank you, MC. Good morning to our 21 co-chair, to our president, regional president, our regional vice president, to all the sub-regional director present here, and to all the Africa HQ staff, national leaders, and all the Heavenly Parents Holy community. It's for me an honor to be in front of you on this morning to share a little bit with you on a precise theme, that is unity between husband and wife. It's somehow an important theme, because if we were asked to speak about unity between husband and wives. It means that somewhere we did not have this unity, or we had a fight, and now we have to correct this in order that not to redo the same errors. So this said, permit me just that. So the hondoke already was in the atmosphere, but what you have to understand is that inheriting of uh, true love, true life, and true lineage is our only goal. So I will develop this theme from these words about true father. Inheriting true love, true lineage, and true life is our
On peut avoir de l'argent, on peut avoir de la connaissance, ou
is
même
what will save us. It's true, we can have money, we can have knowledge, we can have power, but if we lose the love of our life, all of this doesn't have the sense anymore. So, dear brothers and sisters, dear children,
la relation mari et femme
the relationship between husband and wife is one
plus grandes étapes
of the most important relationships
vers
in
la
the
réalisation et le bien-être.
progression towards the realization of the ideal.
L'amour conjugal, c'est celui-là qui implique tous les autres amours en réalité.
Conjugal love is love
L'amour frère et sœur, et même
that really permits all love to come in an existence.
dans ce
Filial love, parental love.
principe nous a enseigné, c'est-à-dire que
So when we refer ourselves to what the principle
créa
taught of,
l'homme et la femme,
taught us, we see that the purpose why the God created a husband and wife, created a male and female, is to do something, and He gave them a commandment. What was His commandment? To be fruitful, multiply, and
première parole
have dominion over the
adressée
creation.
à l'homme,
So already these first words that were addressed directly to man
et femme.
was already designing
Alors,
the family pattern. And so from there, we can understand that nothing,
de ce que Dieu
absolutely nothing
ne
of
peut
God,
accomplir
what,
la
of
famille.
what God did
Donc,
can be
par
accomplished
laquelle
without family. So
Dieu réalisa l'univers,
to reach the goal
que l'esprit de famille,
or to accomplish the purpose of creation, we absolutely
nous
need
savons tous,
this family
même
spirit.
vous plus que moi,
And we are all aware of this, maybe you more than me, that our first human ancestors unfortunately could not accomplish this ideal. They could not develop this family.
oui, on pourrait nous dire que, mais pourtant, Adam et Ève,
Yes, they can say that Adam and Eve
ils ont certes vécu comme couple,
lived their life
mais est-ce
like
quand
husband and wife. Yes, they lived like husband and wife, but was this the principal way of doing? They had to establish their family in a way that the Creator
dire
designed. That is why
Dieu au milieu des conflits?
they say that we can find God amongst conflict. What does this mean? This means that Adam and Eve started their lives in conflicts. With conflicts, they started their conjugal uh, relation within in conflict. In conflict because uh,
Son désir.
e-
C'est pourquoi,
each of them wanted to express their desire,
n'est-ce pas,
That is why when Adam listened to the word of God, when God asked Adam, "Who are you?" He said, "It's the wife." And when he asked the wife, naturally, the wife said, "It's the serpent." So already naturally the spirit or the atmosphere of conflicts existed, and in this situation God could not be at the center. That is why we have to come back to God. So the providence of restoration could start from that realization. And today also who I have this privilege, have this grace to receive our heavenly parents and the true parents of heaven and earth, and human can also receive the blessing from them. But what is a blessing? What is this blessing that we received? What does this blessing gives us? So permit me to read true father's words. He says the blessing opens the path to a way destined to restore love, corrupt love. This is the meaning of the blessing. It opens the way to purify corrupted love. What is the meaning of this? This means that it invites us to receive true love, and true lineage. This is what the blessing is. Now, the question I'm asking myself is: us who are here as parents received this blessing, what do we have to do with this blessing? Did this contribute? This contribute to effectively develop our heart, our relationship with our heavenly parents, our relationship with our true parents? If the answer is yes, if each and every one of us here can say yes, this means that, I'm sorry of saying this, original president, this means that this program doesn't have sense anymore, because this will mean that each and every one of us effectively lived this God's love. And if we live God's love correctly and daily, we'll transmit this naturally to all those around us, our children, to our little children, and so on and so on, and also the environment. But if looking at our daily life, we see that there are problems here and there are issues here and there. At this moment, we have to really be attentive to this program. So I'm now going to cite 3 to 4 points on which we are going to meditate. The original vision of the love between husband and wife. What is this vision? What is the vision of love between husband and wife? Firstly, we think that it is to give love to God and to all creation. So it is between husband and wife. When true love reigns, then God and creation
C'est
will rejoice. The second point is to really think about it once more. Why do husbands and wives Why are they giving birth to?
Pourquoi sommes-nous là?
Why are we here in this world?
Troisième question que l'on pourrait se poser,
Third question we can ask ourselves,
que l'on pourrait également analyser,
or third point you can analyze,
quel type de relation
is
doit exister
which kind of relation has to exist between husband and wife?
L'un a-t-il absolument besoin de l'autre?
Does one absolutely needs the other?
Je suis ici en train de m'adresser aux familles bénies.
I'm asking this question to the essential families. I'm asking this question to parents that already took the path of the blessing. Do you feel that you absolutely need your partner?
Marie,
Marie,
toi femme,
uh,
as-tu absolument besoin?
you husband, you wife, do you absolutely need your partner?
Quatrième point sur lequel j'aimerais que
The
l'on
fourth point I would like us to meditate on
c'est d'où vient l'amour?
is where does love come from?
D'où vient l'amour?
Where does love come from?
Est-ce que l'amour vient de moi-même?
Does love come from myself?
Et pour ne pas tirer trop long, le cinquième point sur lequel
So I would not like to drag it more. The fourth point I would like us to meditate together is
l'harmonie
harmony in love.
Comment arriver à développer cette harmonie?
How can we develop this harmony in love between husband and wife?
Ces points, c'est comme si c'est des questions. C'est comme
Consider
si
these points is like questions, they are like affirmations, but what is important to know is
des expériences.
so to permit us to understand better, I'm going to now take experiences. It is not rare in our evening parents or the community to hear some people say
Que nous avons reçu la bénédiction.
that when we received the blessing, my partner, my spouse, and myself
L'un va se donner entièrement
uh,
à l'aspect
said to each other that one will give himself completely to the spiritual aspect and the other will give himself completely in the economical aspect in order to be able to live our life as planned. It's really not rare to see in families this organization. So there are people that will take care of the economical aspect and the other will give himself totally to the prevalence and, as we generally say, to the public life.
de prime abord semble être bien vu.
This who on first sight seems good,
Dans la vie,
but when we continue moving on in life,
il peut arriver des moments où celui peut-être qui est dans la vie publique trouve que celui ou celle qui est au niveau économique
though the person that is in the public life will be can see that the person that is at the level of economic who is to take care of the economical side is not producing enough, and now he or she has to go and support him or her. And in these conditions, finally, we abandon the spiritual aspect,
ou vice-versa.
or vice versa.
Celui qui s'occupe de l'économie,
The person that takes care of the economical aspect
celui qui est dans le spirituel,
can see that the person that is in the spiritual domain is not doing enough. You have to go and support him.
dans certaines situations, ça marche. Mais dans d'autres situations, ça ne marche pas.
In some situations, this works, but in other situations, it doesn't. So I'm going to recount
a décidé de mener
the story of a brother that he decided to
et son
uh,
épouse
take the public life and uh, his wife the economical side. So what happens
les temps sont devenus durs
when things became difficult?
puisque l'épouse faisait comme entrée économique,
All what
soutenait
the wife
la famille
was doing as an economical interest that was supporting um, the family became really insufficient.
insuffisant.
It became insufficient.
Et le mari, en ce moment,
And the
devait
husband
mettre une mission très, 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 très
in this moment was in a very, very, very important mission.
Alors, chaque fois qu'il rentre à la maison,
So every time he comes back home,
il y avait toujours, bien sûr, une autre mine, une autre humeur
he always had another
s'allumer.
some kind of feeling.
Non,
In the
la
beginning,
femme a commencé
everything was fine, but after,
à
not anymore.
à son
And
à
the
réduire
spouse started speaking to the husband,
les
you have to
efforts
stop
économiques.
a little bit with your mission or reduce it a little bit to take care of the
Alors, dans ces
economical
conditions, il faut
aspect.
penser
So, in this kind of condition, what
que
do
le
you
mari va
think,
faire.
dear brothers and sisters? What do you think the husband
Doit-il
will do?
abandonner
Does he have to
sa vie de
abandon the
franc-maçonnerie?
spiritual side? Does he have to reduce
Doit-il
his
continuer?
reading? Or does he have to continue?
Alors, il a essayé de résister
So he
et de continuer.
tried resisting and continued his mission.
Mais chaque jour,
But every
la
day,
relation qui était bonne au début
the relation
commençait à se
that
briser.
was good in the beginning started being destroyed.
Il a essayé, le mari a essayé par tous les moyens
The husband
d'amener
tried
son épouse à la raison, mais enfin.
and always possible to bring
Alors, dans
his
cette
spouse back,
condition,
but um,
la relation était
he did
mauvaise.
not succeed. So in
C'était
these
difficile.
conditions, the love relationship
Qu'est-ce qu'il faut faire?
became unstable. So if you're in this situation, what do you have to do?
Je laisse
What
la
did he
réflexion,
have to do?
mais je vais y
Let
revenir après.
each and every one of us that
À côté
thinking
de
about it. I'll come back to
cette
this later.
relation d'amour défaillante
So
ou déficiente
in this
entre mari et femme,
relationship that was not stable between husband and wife,
l'éducation des enfants.
there was the education of the
Les
children.
enfants observent,
Children observe,
même si les parents avec une certaine sagesse font tout pour que les enfants ne sachent
even
pas
if
telle ou telle
parents
information.
with
Et
their
papa et maman
because their wives,
alors
they will try
la
hiding things,
joie qui
but
était là n'est plus là.
children will feel it that the joy that was there is not there
Alors,
anymore. The love that
les
existed
enfants commencent
between father and
à
mother
devenir
is not there anymore,
un peu
and so the children will
plus
start
papa et maman. Ils ne sont plus
getting
aussi
a little
proches
bit
du
bit
papa
by bit separated from their parents. They'll not
parce
be
que papa
that
et maman sont
close
devenus
as they were, because they'll always see that
alors
they
frères
are
et sœurs,
always in conflict.
ça c'est un exemple.
So, brothers and sisters,
L'image
this is an
d'une
example.
relation
This is
mari
the
et femme.
image of a relationship husband and wife
Et il y a beaucoup
we
d'autres images.
usually get into. There are many other images I can
Dans
recite
ces
here.
conditions,
So, in this kind of condition, what do you have to do?
voilà que la relation entre mari et femme
This is
est détruite.
you can see that the
Voilà que
relationship
la
between
relation
husband and wife
est également
is
détruite.
destroyed, and also the relationship of parents and children has been
Alors
affected.
l'enfant qui a commencé à se
So
dévier,
the child that started
comment
moving
faire
away,
pour ramener cet enfant
how can you do to bring back this child
et pouvoir l'orienter dans la bonne
and
direction?
orient him in the good direction?
Ce qui est sûr,
What is sure, the
ne suffiront pas.
words will never be enough. Just words will never be
Ne
enough.
suffiront pas. Vous n'arriverez jamais dans cette
You will
école
never be able to convince the child to come back just with words. Never.
et selon ce que j'ai appris de ce couple, de cette famille, une sagesse divine est descendue. Écoutez bien.
Sorry.
Et
Okay.
au mari.
Also, from what I heard from this couple, divine word or divine spirit came down and spoke to the husband. He said to the husband,
Demande-lui pardon.
reduce yourself,
Et
humble yourself,
remets à
kneel down in front of your wife and ask for forgiveness, and
tous les efforts possibles pour vivre comme
step
au tout début.
back everything, or do all
Au lieu d'accuser ton épouse,
your efforts, do all efforts possible, and start back in the beginning. Start back with the same energy instead of
rappelle
fighting with your wife because this is what you decided in the beginning. Come back, humble yourself, and ask to your wife what united yourselves. What made you husband and wife? Why are you together?
à l'heure.
So the husband started working in this sense,
À ramener Dieu
in the sense of bringing God that united them
l'essence de Dieu, c'est-à-dire
to
l'amour,
bring the essence of God that is love
au lieu des accusations,
instead
la
of
confrontation, d'amener l'amour dans
accusing each other, bringing back love in the family
spectaculaire pour ne pas dire
was
miracle
what he started doing. So, in a miraculous way,
dans la famille.
things began stabilizing the family.
Et
And
l'enfant voyant donc cette relation parent-enfant,
the child
papa et maman,
seeing this relationship between mommy and daddy getting better, the child naturally came back.
frères et sœurs,
Brothers and
pour
sisters,
dire quoi?
what is the meaning of this?
Lorsque vous empruntez un chemin,
It is to say that when you take
qu'à un moment
a
donné, vous
path
sentez que vous êtes en train de vous perdre,
and at a certain level you feel you're losing yourself, you have to learn how to come back and think about it.
nous avons emprunté une voie,
We took
celle
a
de la
path,
restauration.
the path of restoration,
Et
and
des écueils se sont présentés devant nous. Des obstacles se sont
we
présentés
had
devant
many obstacles in front of you, in front of us. So we have to come back
nous.
and think about
Ce
it.
qui nous a motivés au départ
What motivated us in the beginning?
la source de notre force,
This
de notre énergie.
can be the source of our energy to continue our match or our blessing
C'est pourquoi,
to overcome this obstacle.
frères et sœurs,
That is why, brothers and
je
sisters,
voudrais ici attirer notre attention à tous
I really like to
sur l'amour
attract the attention of each and every one of us towards love between husband and wife.
les hommes et les femmes viennent au monde.
Why the husband and wife?
Nous
Why are they
devons
giving birth to husband and wife?
amener en vue de rencontrer un homme
We have to understand that
et un homme
a
en vue de rencontrer
a woman is given birth to meet a man, and a man is given birth to meet a woman. That is the ultimate truth.
mais cette rencontre doit toujours être centrée.
But this meeting should always be centered on true love.
C'est pourquoi dès le départ,
That is why since the beginning,
le Créateur, le parent
our
céleste,
Creator, the Heavenly
a
Parent,
posé le paradigme, le fondement des
laid the foundation of the proposition foundation
Chaque fois que nous avons des difficultés,
in a way that every time we have a difficulty, we should always think about it and come back to the right path.
alors par la même occasion,
So
nous comprenons que, en réalité,
we then understand that in reality,
l'amour vient de notre partenaire.
love comes from our partner.
L'amour vient de notre partenaire.
Love comes from our partner.
Parce que seul, on ne peut pas parler d'amour
Because alone we can think of
de façon intrinsèque.
love.
On prononce le mot amour,
So in a sense, when we
la réciprocité.
speak about love, we should automatically
Présence au milieu,
look the reciprocity, the give and take action.
cimenter les deux pour qu'ils deviennent un.
So this love comes to really
Donc, c'est
unite men and women so they can become one. This means that it's your partner that brings love.
donc, il faut que nous apprenions cela.
So we have to be aware of this.
Comprendre que l'amour vient du partenaire.
If we can understand that love comes from the partner, then from this point on,
À stabiliser
we
nos couples.
can stabilize our couples.
Puis, ce qu'il faut savoir également,
Also, something we need to know
que l'amour,
is that
c'est une force.
love
C'est une force.
is a strength.
Une fois que l'on s'y habitue,
And when we get used to this strength, naturally it flows
et du haut vers le bas.
from up to down and from down to up.
Lorsque l'on se donne dans l'amour,
When we give ourselves completely to love,
à s'humilier devant son
when we learn
dans l'amour,
to be humble in front of our partner in true love,
alors
then
l'effet que cela va produire
the effect of this
va constituer des rayons concentriques qui vont toucher tous les
will
membres.
make circular beams that will touch all the family members. So this is to say that in reality, our children
Ont des difficultés
have difficulties,
entre
and they have difficulties because
il n'y a pas
between husband and wife there's no love.
si entre mari et femme
If
il y a l'amour, cet amour
there was love between husband and wife,
toute la maison
this love will have
et les enfants vont évoluer dans
this love will have filled the home in its entirety, and the children will have felt this love. That is why I would like to say this.
une société,
A society,
une communauté,
a community,
une famille
a family
sans spiritualité
without spirituality
est une société, une communauté
is a society,
sans
a community, or a family without
mais quelle est
mind.
la spiritualité de notre sainte communauté du parent céleste.
So, what is the spirituality of our heavenly parents or the community?
Notre Père nous dit c'est la famille.
Our true parents,
Donc
our true father says it's the family. So, the spiritual family is
la spiritualité de la sainte communauté du parent céleste.
the spirituality of the heavenly parents or the community.
Donc la famille,
So, the family
l'élément de base, l'élément
remains the
essentiel
fundamental element, the fundamental point
de la sainte communauté du parent céleste.
for the heavenly parents or the community.
La famille se bâtit sur l'amour.
But the family is constructed based on God's true love. So,
avec cela,
with
je
this,
voudrais sincèrement
I would like to sincerely remind to every one of us this.
dans la famille,
In the family,
l'enfant
the child
ressent en réalité de façon intuitive,
in reality
très profonde,
feels things
que
in a very profound manner
l'existence n'a de sens qu'en fonction de l'amour conjugal des parents.
that his existence has a meaning in relationship with the conjugal love of the parents. This is very important to know this.
Parents, nous devons
As
savoir que
parents, we
l'enfant
have to know that the child
et profondément
feels in an intuitive way and profoundly that his existence
et de l'amour de ses parents. Donc, Paris,
is linked with the love of his parents.
cet enfant
We don't have to forget that this
de l'amour entre
child is the fruit of the love between a husband and wife. And so,
ça ne va pas.
when something goes wrong,
On le ressent. On ne peut
the
pas
child automatically feels this. We can't hide it.
et vice versa.
And vice versa.
C'est pourquoi souvent,
That is why
n'est-ce pas, il y a des parents, peut-être parmi vous, en tout cas, il y a eu pas mal d'expériences parmi vous, peut-être.
I'm sure their parents and that have these experiences where
Vous êtes là assis,
you are just there seated
d'un coup,
and all of a sudden
une émotion vous
you
traverse
feel an emotion
parce
pass
que
through your heart
vous sentez que quelque chose
because you felt that something
votre enfant qui est quelque part.
is happening to your child that is somewhere.
Il y a ce lien
So there's this link, there's this
qui
connection.
vient de vous, cet enfant.
This child comes from you. This child comes from you.
Donc, c'est dire quoi? C'est dire que si
So what does this mean? This means that if, as husband and wife,
vous vivez dans une unité parfaite,
you live in a perfect unity centered on the
positive,
God's true love, this will positively this is positively touch your child.
mais lorsque vous menez votre vie centrée sur
Now,
de l'argent, du pouvoir, de la
if you live your life centered on money, centered on power, the search of power, the search of knowledge, and you forget this internal aspect, this will equally influence or this will equally touch the child.
et demain, malheureusement, il arrive que cet enfant nous dise,
And
papa,
in this sense, unfortunately, it can happen that the child will tell you, "Mommy, Daddy, I want to go to this country to look for money."
et en ce moment,
And
on se pose toutes les questions.
from that point on, we'll start asking ourselves all kind of questions
La voie de la bénédiction.
centered on
Mon enfant va accepter la
on the path I am in.
Donc, chers frères et sœurs,
So, dear brothers and sisters,
comme communauté de parents,
dear members of Heavenly Parents for the community,
sincèrement nous inviter tous
I would really sincerely like to invite you to understand this aspect of the couple life,
parce que
the family life in general.
avec ceci,
With this,
je voudrais permettre à maman
I would like to permit to Mama that is beside me to say
encore
some words.
je reviens
So
que
once more,
société sans spiritualité est une société sans âme.
I will say that a society Without spirituality is a society without
Notre spiritualité, c'est la famille dans la sainte communauté du parent céleste.
without mind.
Si
So
nous perdons les fondements de la famille,
for us, it's the family. For the Heavenly Parents, Holy Community,
je parle ainsi parce que
the
nous
family
sommes
is the base. Because if we lose the family, if we lose the base that is the family, everything will be destroyed. I'm talking about this because we already received the blessing. We already laid the foundation to be with your parents, to be with Heavenly Parents. It means that we've inherited so many from our Heavenly Parents and true parents.
ne pas tenir cela, ne pas faire en sorte que
We've inherited so much from them. So if we don't make all what we receive stay, it means that we are the one losing.
donc pour ne pas être plus long que ça,
So to not waste more time, I'm going to give the floor to Mama with the permission of the MC, the regional president, Channel One coach, to say some words because she's beside me here, and if I
pourrait encore avoir l'occasion de parler, si elle va aussi peut-être se plaindre quelque part. Donc, maman, si tu as quelque chose à dire, je laisse la.
So, Mama, you can say some few words.
Good morning, our
Bonjour.
co-chair, Reverend Bakari Camara. Good morning, our regional president, Papa Jean-Pierre Kadima. Good morning, our vice president, Mrs. Mika. Good morning, all the Africa HQ staff, the sub-regional directors, all brothers and sisters, and our youth present here. It's a privilege to be in this Hundoke and in this program to share this beautiful program that has been developed in Africa to put in place a system that will bring harmony in the education of parents and children. Already, my husband has shared a lot, and I'm sure we have learned a lot from his sharing. I just want to say a few words just to sum it up what he just expressed and shared with everyone. Basically, we all know that the relationship of husband and wife or man or woman is a complex one. And it's complex because of the fall. Before God's original plan, it is one of the most beautiful relationships because it encompasses love, and it's there that we can co-create, so it brings about life, and also it permits the continuation of life, the lineage. And we all know that a man and a woman are different, and our differences are actually what creates the beauty, because the difference is supposed to be complementary. It is not supposed to be a source of conflict or trouble. The differences is supposed to bring us together to create love, to develop love and to create happiness and joy in the environment of the family. And of course, we all know that throughout history, nobody could really teach or show the way for a couple, how a couple should live. And it's only through our true parents that we have come to know the truth about a husband and a wife. So the manual of developing true love in the family exists only with the true parents. So if we try to lead our lives outside the manual, then of course we will have lots of difficulty and difficult situations that we cannot even resolve. That is why we must look to our true parents. Already they showed us the example. The life of true father and true mother was like an example for us. If we observed them very well, that is the ideal, how an ideal couple should live. They were always together and always communicating. That means communication between a couple is very capital, is very important. If the communication is not well, then problems will arise. Also, we saw how two parents led a life of attendance together, true father and true mother together every time, attending God and the mission together. This was also an example for us to show us that for a couple to live well, we cannot live outside God's will. We must lead a life of attendance together. It's only when we have God as the center, then we can really feel true love. We can really know the nitty-gritty details that exist in the beauty of the love of a husband and wife. Of course, when we observe nature, for example, when we look at birds, you see how they live. It's so beautiful. It gives joy. Do we live like that? Are we able to attain that standard where the woman bird sings and the male bird is twirling around and you see them jumping around together? So beautiful. This is how our life should be. And the next point I wanted to share is doing God's will. Through doing things together as a husband and wife, if we do things together, then it builds relationship. We come to understand each other better, and we come to support one another. True parents always say, live for the sake of each other. Live for the sake of the other. The other that true parents is talking about is actually the person next to me. It's him. I have to live for him, and he has to live for me. If we are in God's will, it should come naturally. It's not by command, it comes from the heart, where I feel naturally I must support him, and he feels he must support me. It comes naturally as husband and wife. And if this beautiful relationship exists, then the children naturally, they want to be like their parents. They want to go to the blessing. They want to receive the blessing. But what the problem is that we all came with our different fallen natures. And sometimes we still let the the fallen nature become like a barrier. Whenever there is a barrier, then love cannot circulate easily. It becomes a barrier to love. There is no liberty. There is no deliverance. That is why fallen nature is a big barrier to the development of true love in the family. So nobody will help me to take care of my fallen nature. I have to do it myself. He cannot help me, and I cannot help him. He has to realize, or I have to realize, this is my fallen nature, and work on it. When I eliminate my fallen nature, it allows love to flow freely in the family. And there is so much to share about the issue of husband and wife. And of course, each and every one of us experience it in our own daily lives. My only last words would say, let us use the manual that God has given to us, the true parents. True parents, His words. Let's use that to help us to develop true love in the family, to help our children to understand what it means to live in a lovely family. Thank you so much.
Grand merci au révérend Soudan-Oré et à Madame. Ovation pour cet enseignement.
Thank you, Servant Sudavere, and also, Madam, thank you for this profound and rich teaching. We keep that if children have issues, it is somehow due to parents. That is why between parents, between husband and wife, we have to really humble ourselves and come back to our words when we feel. Because a family without love is a family without soul, without mind. So thank you very much, Reverend Sue Danvere, for this teaching tomorrow. And this morning, we are now going to take a little break with the interlude. And please enjoy. Thank you.
Into your eyes, it's like watching the night sky, or beautiful sunrise. There's so much they hold, and just like the most stars, I see that you've come so far to be right where you are. How old is your soul? 'Cause even the stars, they burn, some even fall to the earth. We've got the love to learn. God knows we're worth it. No, I won't give up. I don't wanna be someone who walks away so easily. I'm here to stay and make the difference that I can make. Our differences, they do a lot to teach us how to use the tools and gifts we got here. We've got a lot at stake. And in the end, you said, my friend, at least we dead and turn for us to work with that and break with that and burn. We had to learn how to bend. We've got the word, living in. I had to learn what I've got and what I'm not and who I am. I won't give up on even if the sky gets rough, we've got a lot to learn. God knows we're worth it.
Merci beaucoup pour cette belle mélodie.
Thank you very much for this beautiful interlude that really reminds us our
Mais de toujours poursuivre, quand bien même nous avons des difficultés, il ne faut jamais abandonner.
remind us our mission as husband in life to never abandon. So right now, please we'll move on to the next session that will be given by this person that comes from the Subregion West, Reverend George Ogurie, and he's going to give us an education today on the relationship between parents and children. Please, let's welcome our Subregional Director of Subregion West, Reverend George Ogurie, with a round of applause.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Reverend Bakery, for inviting us. Good morning, our Joy co-chair, Reverend Bakri Camara. Good morning, our regional president, Reverend Jean-Pierre Kadima, and his wife, our Samonim, Mama Maria. I hope she's here. And Vice President, our own Mika Amalaman, and all the great family, the leaders present, all protocols observed. Thank you for the opportunity to come to make a presentation. Actually, it was just yesterday we understood that we were supposed to come and give a presentation today, this morning. So we did not prepare a lecture. Us to say something about developing trust, parents, children, in terms of getting children to go for the blessing, the marching and blessing, how trust is developed between parents and children in terms of marching and blessing. Like I said, we don't have a lecture to give. We will just give it a little testimony about our own experience in this regard. So before I go into that testimony, let me share with you some words from the Bible and True Parents' word that inspires me a lot. I hope everyone can see this. This is a Bible passage, the book of Deuteronomy.
Yes.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6, from verses 4 to 9. This is a Bible verse, Bible passage, very, very important for children education. It says, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord, and you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might. And these words which I command you this day shall be upon your heart, and you shall teach them diligently to your children, and shall talk of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk away, and when you lie down, and when you rise. and you shall bind them as a sign upon your hands, and they as frontlets between your eyes, and you shall write them on the doorpost of your house and on your gate. And this is true parents' words. The father says, as parents, you should set the right example by your devoted service to God's will and in your daily life of faith and service. By doing so, you are raising children who will respect their parents and not talk back to them, who will honor their parents by obeying whatever they do. This is the word of our true parents. You know, this subject about building trust between parent and children, it brings my mind to the basic point of the divine principle. When we summarize my understanding, when we summarize the divine principle into just one phrase, and that will be 4-position foundation in the divine principle foundation. So there's God, there's a husband, there's a wife, and there is children, all united. You know that the arrows that we draw in the divine principle, 4-position foundation. God, husband, wife, children, all united. This is the very most powerful teaching of our true parents. Now, according to that Bible passage, how to really build this 4-position foundation in our own understanding is through Hundoke. True parents establish for us of Hundoke, and you know, I think about between husband and between parent and children, even for that matter, between husband and wife. For us, the only thing that comes into our mind is the tradition of Hundoke, which our true parents established for us. And in our own case, we tried as much as possible to make sure that the children inherited that tradition of Hundoke. We were fortunate in the sense that before we went for the blessing, myself, I was full-time member living in the center in Lagos. And my wife also was a full-time member. She was doing a pioneer mission here in Nigeria, in northern Nigeria. She pioneered in a few cities in northern Nigeria. She was in Jos, she was in Kaduna, she was in Kano, and even here in Abuja, when Abuja was not developed like it now, she was pioneering, she was involved in pioneer mission. So we were like full-time members living in the center. And as you know, center life is regulated. So you have to do every day, follow the schedule, follow the regulated schedule. So we were lucky to be groomed like this, even before we went for the blessing. The blessing, we were still doing our full-time mission work in the center. We were living in the center. We had our own little one room. We had a little one room in the center we were given. And so even on in that little one room that we had, so then after some time, when the children had grown up to a certain age, they were still small, we had to move out from the center. But while we were in the center, of course, we followed center regime, center rules, center life. Center life, you have to do Hundoke every day. There's no way you're not allowed to stay in the center without participating in the Hundoke. you have to participate every day. So we were lucky that due to our calling as full-time center member, we had to just follow the tradition. But then at that time, our children were small. We dragged them to the Hunduke every day, and they participate. Then after they had grown up to a certain age, we have moved out from the center. We are living on our own. So we continued the tradition as if our home was a center, and we did, in fact, we did Hundoke only in the morning, but in our own home, we were doing Hundoke 2 times a day, in the morning and in the night. so the Hundoke life became more intense when we were living on our own. This time the children had, grown up. Some of them up to 10 years old, some of them up 7-year-old, 5 years old. We were living like this, and they were grown up in that kind of intense Hundoke tradition, whether it was in the church center or in our own personal homes. So that's just what we did. And we made sure that the children are educated in the tradition of true parents, the words of true parents. We don't have time for other thing other than the word of God. So even as sometimes I come into me, I was around, they were in their room. I was around hearing things, Daddy will say like this, Daddy will say, sit down, just sit, eat with dignity, do this, be like a child of God. So they were mimicking me, and I was hearing them doing that. Yeah, because we just wanted to make sure that we drummed the true parents' tradition, their own consciousness. Of course, like Reverend and Mrs. Sue said, I think it's very important to appreciate the importance of unity between the husband and wife as an important ingredient for effective passing on of the tradition of true parents to the children. That's really a very, very critical point. Father did mention that in one of his speeches that parents and the husband and wife should never argue in front of their children. They should never allow their children to see them quarreling. Father made something like made a statement like in one of his speeches of Hundoke. Of course, myself and my wife, sometimes we have argued in front of our children. We argued a few times. And anyhow, but one thing that our children appreciate is that even though myself and my wife, we have different personalities, and we have a few points. Our personalities are kind of different, but there is one thing that both of us have in common, and that is that both of us are authentic. We are very authentic. What I express is what I feel, and she also the same thing. She expresses is what she feels. When you say somebody is authentic, that means true. That person is real. Like I find it hard to pretend. I pretend. My wife is also the same. She cannot pretend. If she's not happy, you will know that she's not happy. If I'm not happy, you can actually know that I'm not happy. So we don't pretend, and that can lead to expressing ourselves in some strong ways. And I think that our children appreciate this point. they see this point, see our authenticity, the authenticity of both of us. For them, there's no question in their heart, in their mind, that these people love God and they love parents. And they really want to uphold the tradition of God and true parents. For my children, for our children, they have no question about this. Even we may argue, due to our authenticity, as I said, both of us have authentic natures. We may argue over some differences, but they are very, very aware and very, very keen that these two people love God, these two people love true parents, and they are serious about to be quitting the tradition of true parents to the next generation. So that's really a very important point. I can point out that really influence our children. Another thing about them, which I must give credit also to the children themselves, is that the children themselves, I think that have a certain a high level of inborn goodness within themselves. And I can say that it is the grace that we receive from true parents by receiving the blessing. All the blessed children are different, all of them. They are imbued with inborn goodness. There's certain inborn goodness in the blessed children. I can testify to that. So I think to their credit, that's a very, very important. So we need to understand their inborn goodness and to cultivate that inborn goodness within themselves. They are very smart, and in many are very talented. The children themselves, they have some great talent. I had the kind of resources that is needed to be able to develop the talents that they had. We didn't have much resources. For instance, our children are very talented in music. And I always thought that I should send them to some very high-class musical school, which costs a lot of money to be able to send the children to such schools. But we could never afford. That's one of my regrets. We could never afford to be able to send them to such institutions. Even to hire a music teacher or somebody to train them to play instruments and all that, we could never afford to be able to hire such people. So we only managed to be able to send them to regular schools, But however, the children themselves, they try their best to develop themselves. Some of the things that they are doing, they are self-taught. Nobody taught them anything. Some of the things that they are doing, my children, they sing and they play instruments. Nobody taught them anything, taught themselves. So I must give them credit for that. And that credit, that is because God and true parents put in them some certain talents which they are making effort to develop. And the other thing is they get to understand that their lives, their life of self-improvement of themselves is not just for to be able to escape difficulties. Like two of them in Korea to study in Korea. They went to Korea. They understood that their purpose of going to Korea was not to escape difficulties of African life, but rather be able to close true parents' home, true parents' country, to be able to create true parents' tradition so that they can contribute better to the providence. They can develop themselves better to in the providence. That's why they went to Korea. They understood this very well. Now, for many of the children who went to Korea, it's a debatable point whether they really benefited so much from that closeness to in the true parents culture, whether they really benefited from that or a debatable point. But it depends on individuals. So anyhow, the point is that when their motivation for going to a program, whether somebody who went for the SOHAC UPA or some more university, their motivation to go was simply to be close and be something, be able to, also filled out blessing when blessing on form. There's a place in the blessing, in the blessing form where they say, how will you describe yourself? Will you describe yourself as strongly traditional or traditional or compromising? You know that there's a part of the blessing form that the part of the blessing form online they want people to know whether you are strongly traditional, strong compromising, or those kind of things. Whether you're not following the tradition. In our family, we will, myself and my wife, we will describe ourselves as fundamentalist unificationists. I think many of us, we can have different ways of describing ourselves as Unification Church members. The way myself and my wife would describe ourselves, we are fundamentalists. That means we follow everything through say, everything in the divine principle, every direction that we receive from the international headquarters. That's what we will do. We will not do something different. We are fundamentalists. Like they say, fundamentalist Christians and fundamentalist Muslims. We are fundamentalist unificationists. That's how we describe ourselves, myself and my wife. Now, I was pleasantly impressed and surprised that when my children were filling the form, they described themselves as strongly traditional. I did not tell them, my wife did not tell them to fill the form like that. The three aspects, whether you are strongly traditional or whether you are traditional or whether you are compromising, they themselves feel strongly traditional. We didn't tell them to feel like that. They filled the form that way. So that gives us quite a bit of joy, a bit of pleasure that our children will describe themselves the way we will describe ourselves as fundamentalist Christians. And they did that as adults, not because we forced them, not because we impose anything on them. No, we did not impose anything on them. In fact, as much as possible, we tried to respect their own choices, the things that they want to do in their life. As much as possible, we try to respect them. We don't force anything upon them, but somehow they have managed to be able to know that the way of Heavenly Parent, true parents, the divine principle is the right way to go. Okay, so I think let me give Mama a chance to say one or two things, and then we can end it there. Thank you very much. God bless you all.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning, our CEWCC co-chair, Reverend Bakari Camara. Good morning, our regional couple, Reverend Dima and his wife. Good morning also to our regional vice president, Mika Amraman, and all our blessed central families gathered here. Today we gathered because we want to talk about our blessed children, 3-generation education for our children. I appreciate the fact that our leaders truly created this for us to come together as parents, share our experiences what we know, we have we are fortunate to be blessed couples and in the church, and we have had already quite a amount of experiences all over the years that we have been in the church. And what I would like to add to what my husband said is that I agree with everything. What he says is true. We have different personality, different characters, but we are all strong. He's strong and I'm strong character. So many times we have clashes, and but at the end of the day, because we express it loud, he speaks loud and I talk also loud, and we say it together, and at the end of the day we come to agree. And our children, yes, have witnessed sometimes such moments, but they understand that we love ourselves strongly. We don't fight because we hate ourselves, but it's because sometimes we have disagreement. Sometimes we have different point of view on different issues. So it happened like that. So we're talking here about the trust between us and our children. And it comes as a foundation of the unity between husband and wife. I think Reverend Sukopul expatiated on this topic, and truly we were all inspired by their talk. There is no way we can build trust between children and ourselves without unity also between husband and wife. And what I will say, the children are very observant. There is no way you can cheat children. Anything we do, they are looking. Even at the young age, they understand, they can see. So you cannot really do anything, they see everything. But we are following our true parents, and our true parents are our model, and we have also to follow our true parents, to copy everything our true parents do. Even though we can have a disagreement, but we always look to God and true parents, and we pray and we do condition, no matter how difficult it is. So this has helped our children to also understand our part of life and understand the same part of life we are taking them to. And that's why they can accept it to go for the blessing. We have blessed already our 2 children, and we still have one who is waiting. We are also trying to get a spouse for our 3rd child. So I would say that to build that trust, it doesn't come just in one day or just when you are maybe to match them. That trust starts from the time you born them, when you are raising them. And communication is very important between parents and the child. And how, in my own experience, I realized that because there was a time my husband was absent for 3 years. He traveled to study, and I was alone with the children, and they were still young. And I was always wondering, how am I going to raise these children alone? What do I teach them? Because we have the material, we have divine principle, we have the book of tradition, we have true parent speeches, all that. They are material that we have. But how do I translate such material in order to teach my children in real life? So I realized that I have one important thing I have to do is to become very close to them. We have to become friends. So I didn't see myself as a mother to them, like in the position of authority, like to dictate to them, like in African way. Many times our children on social media, they criticize African way of raising children because it's a kind of a, dictatorship style. You have to do this, you have to do that. So I realized that I cannot do that way. sometimes it comes because I'm an African, but I said that for me to make sense and communicate, make sense to my children and communicate with them in order to win their trust, I have to become their friend. And for example, when they are watching a movie, I ask them, what kind of movie, what kind of cartoon you want to watch? So they choose. We go together to go and buy. They choose whatever they want to buy. And when I want to watch, I sit with them. I become like them. I become like a child. I play with them, and I reduce myself to, to a child. And when I did like that, I realized that it worked, because I don't really want to impose myself on them, because if I do like that, if they have issues at school or in their life, they are struggling about an issue, they will never tell me. And I wanted to be their confidant, so that when they have some difficulties, they come and report to me. Because we are trying to teach them, inculcate true parents' values, but it's not something that we impose on them. It is teach them with love, true love. And for me to teach them, for them to accept it, understand, it means I have to reduce myself to their own level and become like them, and they communicate and tell me all their issues. So it's from the childhood I was able to, as they were up, it's like myself, I was also growing up. I was also learning from them, because the moment you have a child, you become the parent. Before that, you don't know how it's to be a parent. So I learned to be a parent through my children, and they taught me a lot. I learned again experiences from them. So as they were growing also, when they were little, there is no, when you are talking to a small child, he does not understand the logic. Sometimes you have to be strong and say, don't do that, don't do this. But as the child is growing, is becoming more aware of his environment around, and he becomes more, his intelligence is developed. And when they become teenagers, it becomes difficult. So I realized that, especially at the time they were teenagers, it was the most difficult time. It was a difficult time for me to really communicate with them. Sometimes they used to gang up, understand themselves among themselves. They will unite themselves among themselves and gang up against me. So I realized that. So I changed the strategy now. So anyway, I don't want to say so much, so many things. What I want to convey here, the family, that is where all the relationship, parents to children, children to parents, and siblings love, children among themselves, all this relationship they play within the family. So our family is very important. The unity of husband and wife is very fundamental, also to the trust between the children and their parents. First of all, the parents, the unity among the husband and wife. And then when they are united, it is very important, and the children also copy and they see, and they can trust their parents. My father and mother love each other, even though there are challenges, financial challenges and other challenges, but I know that daddy and mommy love each other. Since they love each other, they become my role model. So in front of our parents, we are like also God. They don't see directly, but they see us. So we are like the image of God to our parents, to our children. That's why we have to really, really love each other. And because our children are observing and they are looking at us as their role model. So when we are united and they see us as someone that they can copy, and they themselves can become also like a daddy and mommy, and they can become also parents. So I don't want to say much. I like to stop here. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mama. Thank you very much.
Merci au révérend Georges Ogurie et son épouse, Merci beaucoup de ce que nous avons pu comprendre, qu'il ne faut pas forcer les enfants à faire ce qu'ils ne souhaitent pas, mais bien au contraire, il faut aider ces enfants, être un modèle pour eux, parce que les enfants voient beaucoup. Ce n'est pas très souvent ce que vous dites qu'ils écoutent, mais c'est ce qu'ils voient, qu'ils font très souvent. Donc, c'est pourquoi nous devons faire très, très attention à ce sens-là. En tout cas, merci beaucoup. Encore une fois de plus, des ovations pour le révérend Georges Ogurie et madame. Merci beaucoup. Maintenant, nous allons passer à une autre phase de notre rencontre de ce matin. Nous allons recevoir un homme, mais un grand-père, celui-là même qui a la machette en main et taille la brousse, comme notre mère aime à le dire, pour faire le chemin pour les parents et pour les enfants qui viennent derrière lui. Et très souvent, quand vous êtes en train de faire le chemin, vous prenez des blessures, vous prenez des coups. Et celui-là, c'est notre CEWCC, que je vous demande d'ovationner avec un tonnerre d'applaudissements. CEWCC. Voilà, vous avez la parole.
Okay, wow, thank you. J'ai l'intention de parler en français parce que tout le monde parle français, mais j'aime parler mon anglais tordu pour exprimer plus d'amour vers mes amis, mes frères et sœurs
So I'm going to
anglophones.
speak in
Parce
English
qu'ils ne
because
sont pas
I
assez
see
courageux
everyone
pour
is
apprendre d'autres langues.
speaking in French. So to express
Thank
my
you.
thanks to my
Thank you
friends,
very
English
much.
speakers, because
For those who already
they
spoke,
have courage to speak another language.
and thank you, Reverend Kadima, and for this beautiful, strong, and heavenly platform, so we can come to share our heart with Heavenly Parent, true parents, united at once, family, to create an environment for the next generation to catch up. It's a big job. And I'm grateful also families and couples are speaking together. This is also a very good model case. And congratulations, Reverend Sue, Mrs. Sue, Reverend Ogurie, Mrs. Ogurie. I know plenty more are coming. Even Pascal maybe will come one day with her loved one. So as you can see, oh, somebody tried to show there also Reverend Begre. Of course, the family department should be there with the wife. He's making me, yeah, see, somebody playing game there. Very good. I'm certainly grateful when I see all of you. I had to say, I'm truly, truly amazed by true parents' work. The majority of you, you didn't grow at the same place as your spouse. And now you are together and you are coming to also bring a new life, of course, with the grace and blessing of true parents. And those children now, we are at the stage also to receive matching and blessing. It's a miracle. It looks like this is a true sense of multiplying themselves, true parents multiplying themselves through us. So that's why this understanding as one family and working together and raising our children together is a model case. I know we are going through a lot of challenges, but I always say, let us eat the good side of apple. Let us become positive and express positive success and a good result. We don't go to the negative side. Actually, we are going to give advantage for the devil's side. So let us amplify the goodness. Like Ogurie was saying, goodness already in the kids, yeah, through our true parents let us amplify that. Let them know that we believe they are good and we love them. And today, I would like to go a little bit more practical, but very short, which is very unusual. The time given to me, most of the time I pass. But today, the time given to me, I will not use it all. But I will keep it for next time. Please don't forget. Any time remaining today in my time, I will use it for another time. Good news, like leftover food is very nice in the morning. So today I would like to go very unusual way. As you know, from my perspective, I want to be also very practical in that sense today. So I would like Mrs. Barrow, I have, maybe Reverend Gomsi will be very surprised that I use the Bible code today, which is very unusual. George, maybe George made a base, but I choose the Bible code before George present. But I know I will surprise all of you to choose the Bible code today. When I started Divine Principle, the small story is, because of my Muslim background, I didn't want that to relate to Bible at all, because what I need through my education, you see, when I was reading the Divine Principle, I was about to close all the Bible code in the Divine Principle, but because the principle itself coming to me and giving me life. So because of the past misunderstanding, and then I didn't want it. But through the principle, I realized what Christianity means, who is Jesus? So today I would like to share a word. Mr. Barrow, if you can share that, it will be very short. To remind us the next step. First step, unity among couples and develop trust to guide the kids given to us to raise. The next step, we have to go to the next level. All right. Mrs. Barrow, can you read this? Surprising, huh?
Yes, Chairman. The parable of the Good Samaritan from Luke 10:25-37. And behold, a lawyer stood up to put him to the test, saying, Teacher, what shall I do to inherit eternal life? He said to him, What is written in the law? How do you read it? And he answered, You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your strength and with all your mind, and your neighbor as yourself. As he said to him, You have answered correctly. Do this and you will live. But he, desiring to justify himself, said to Jesus, And who is my neighbor? Jesus replied, A man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho, and he fell among robbers, who stripped him and beat him and departed, leaving him half dead. Now, by chance, a priest was going down that road, and when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. So, likewise, a Levite, when he came to the place and saw him, passed by on the other side. But a Samaritan, as he journeyed, came to where he was, and when he saw him, he had compassion. He went to him and bound up his wounds, pouring on oil and wine. Then he set him on his own animal and brought him to an inn and took care of him. And the next day he took out 2 denarii and gave them to the innkeeper, saying, Take care of him, and whatever more you spend, I will repay you when I come back. Which of these 3 do you think proved to be a neighbor to the man who fell among the robbers? He said, The one who showed him mercy. And Jesus said to him, You go and do likewise.
Thank you. It's kind of put it down now. So you may wondering why I'm sharing this today. Because I had a strong feeling that many of us, many of you are trying to build unity within the family to create a foundation for the next generation. many of us, many of you are building trust. You are doing your effort to make sure the next generation can see the visible God through you. And many of us, or many of you, are trying to show the tradition of heaven, and so that the next generation can catch up. So that is one stage. The next stage we had to go, because true parents take us to the next stage. The next stage, we are Chombo families, treasures of heaven. And then there is a lot of implication there. It's so sweet, and so we are so blessed. Then it's time to share. It's time to share. So how to learn to share as a family. So that is something really attract my mind a lot. To not be long, I go to the point. Many families got opportunity to be wealthy. I'm not talking physically wealthy. Spiritually, they already build up some kind of unity and some trust and some result. So this is a time now to share with others, to be the good Samaritan to others. Many children, we are thousand children, they are there. Many got challenges. Challenges, not necessarily material, but spiritually they feel lonely. Let us adapt them. Let us adapt them fully. Doesn't mean to change their name and to become now John Ogurie. No, not necessary. Still can remain John Su. But in our relationship, we really will have to, if you want to expand and give joy to Heavenly Parent and True Parent now, as a Chombo treasures of heaven, we really need to share now. There is a practical way to do that. As today I say, I'm going to be practical. We will have to go, I have to go beyond my little surrounding family. To love my husband and wife, great. To love and raise my children, great. But now we have to go to the neighbor. That is the way we can expand ourselves. Many second gen are in desperate situation. Externally, sometimes
Je crois que notre Chong doit avoir des problèmes de connexion.
yeah, it's all right. I am here.
Il est de retour. Bon, nous allons encore patienter un tout petit peu. Si la technique peut nous distiller quelque chose en attendant le retour de Chong Yuan Co-Chair.
So we're going to be
Je suis là, la
It's a
technique
bit
va nous
Chong
distraire.
to come back. He seems to have been
Le Chong Yuan est là. OK, on y va.
C'est une surprise. Je voulais dire là, I was saying that this is really a great moment for each and every one of us as Blessed Family Chombo. If you got experiences, let us raise, let us bring now someone. Let us make sure 1, 2, or 3 second gen receive the same grace, because you never know. We don't know. Some people could be paying some kind of price, and that grace come to me. You remember one time I was sharing about one family, and we were going there to visit the family because the son is our friend, and we were eating all their food. And I asked, why you are not eating? He said, when you eat, it comes to my belly. He was somehow paying the price so we can survive. Please remember that. Not all families in difficulty and challenges, they are not necessarily paying for themselves. I will not say that way. The good side of Apple, I want to see that those families, their children struggling, maybe they are paying the price. And God tried to resurrect it through me or through children I can see, so they can raise up. So that these children now, in challenging situation, need help, need our help, need our support, need our inspiration, and need the grace, absolutely without any doubt. So today, I would like to, all of us to think, how can I be a great Samaritan? Heavenly Samaritan, not anymore good Samaritan, but heavenly one. So let us truly care in desperate situation. In desperate situation. Physically, externally, sometimes they don't even have to eat. They don't have scholars fees minimum. Externally, they don't where to sleep. They don't have great place. But some of our children got a car. Well, it's not bad, but just think about it. Think about it. But some children also, the parent got challenges. They got challenges and they cannot get the possibility to raise them as they wish. It's not their fault. I don't think so. So this is a time, wherever our head is out of the water, we can breathe, let us find to save somebody. This is a very global mission. We had to think about it and we had to act accordingly. It's a moment now to go out to see my neighbor. To go out to see my neighbor. Again, to go out to see my neighbor. Please remember that. Loving and caring and raising people under my roof is not necessarily great. It's normal. What else can we do? But let us reach our neighbors. Let everyone, each and everyone here, particularly Chombo couples, Chombo families, who already pledged, who got the robes. Let us pledge all to get minimum 3 second gen out of our environment to bring them to the blessing. If you don't eat for at least 1 meal. Don't worry, it will happen. Substantial condition to bring at least 3 children, to bring them, to encourage them so they can recognize heavenly parent and true parent. I call that heavenly Samaritan. So let us go out of our little family. Let us reach out our neighbors. Let us bring our neighbors. Let them feel heavenly parents' love. So thank you once again. So I say I will keep some of my time for the next time because those central blessings are sharing with us with so much heart today. I would like to stop here to thank you and say I'm truly grateful to be on that platform, to learn and to also practice with you. God bless you.
Merci, merci. Encore une fois de plus, grande ovation pour notre Chong co-chair, voilà, qui nous a partagé son cœur, comment être un Samaritain céleste. Merci beaucoup, Chong pour ces mots. Encore une fois de plus, ovation pour le grand-père.
Once more, a round of applause for our grandfather.
Merci beaucoup. Sans plus tarder, nous allons vers la fin de notre rencontre de ce matin. Nous allons passer à la grande cérémonie de clôture à travers les annonces qui nous seront certainement données par le secrétaire général. Les annonces. Voilà. Excusez-nous, on me fait dire que nous aurons, pour les annonces,
Sorry, internet issues.
la session prochaine qui aura lieu le vendredi à 17h.
It's just about
Bien
the
ça.
next session
Pour les
that will be
Donc, le
the
vendredi,
Friday at 5
à
p.m.
nous aurons
The
la
session
prochaine session
for the
pour
children.
les enfants.
So on Friday,
Parents
we're
et
going to
les jeunes
have the
également
next session for the
à
children.
cette session
Parents and
peuvent
children
être présents. Ce que les
and
enfants
youth also
écoutent,
can
les
participate
parents ont
in
le
sessions.
droit d'écouter, mais ce que les
So
parents écoutent,
children,
pas le
yeah,
droit d'écouter. Donc,
parents have the
cette
right to
session,
hear
c'est
that too, but what
vendredi
parents hear,
prochain,
children don't have the right to hear.
et
So the
n'oubliez
next
pas
session is
qu'il y a dans le
next
chat,
Thursday from 5
il faut
p.m. and don't forget there's
sur
on
nos
the
quais
chat
de
the
matin.
reflection form that has been
Donc,
shared to give you a
nous
reflection
allons
to this
aller maintenant avec notre président régional, celui-là même qui est le commencement et la fin de Chine-Afrique. Nous allons pour cela, encore une fois de plus, chers frères, chers sœurs, chers parents, recevoir notre président régional avec des ovations, comme vous savez si bien le faire.
Merci beaucoup, Révérend Begré, pour me retourner la parole. Merci à Untitled pour ce verset qui nous fait revivre encore notre responsabilité, surtout les désirs des vrais parents. Je ne peux pas passer sous silence la contribution non moins importante du couple Soudan-Ogurie et du couple Ogurie. Vivre ensemble, vivre pour les biens des autres, ça a été les credos de nos vrais parents que nous connaissons mieux que quiconque, mais que parfois, à cause de nos préoccupations, à cause de certaines difficultés, nous ne savons pas à quel sein nous vouer. Vous vous rendez compte que quand nous nous retrouvons ensemble, nous partageons les meilleurs et le pire que nous traversons sur ce chemin, des voies s'ouvrent, le ciel s'ouvre et les bénédictions vont être abondantes. C'est le désir, c'est ce qui a toujours été le désir des vrais parents, de voir 3 générations vivre ensemble. Quand 3 générations vivent ensemble, il y a la sécurité, il y a la confiance, il y a l'unité qui se crée naturellement. Et la protection est démise. Ça, c'est ce que nous devons réaliser. En tant que famille Tchombo, on nous appelle trésor du ciel. Pourquoi nous le sommes? Un trésor est quelque chose de si précieux qui a été recherché et qui doit rester pour de génération en génération. Et quand ce trésor n'est pas protégé et n'est pas pérennisé, c'est la mort qui s'ensuit, c'est le conflit et c'est la destruction. Allez-y comprendre, chère famille bénie centrale, que nous avons du pain sur la planche. Je disais autrefois qu'au lieu de répéter ce que nos premiers ancêtres ont fait dans le jardin d'Adam, nous devons plus nous souder et plaider pour la cause des uns et des autres. Donc, dire c'est une expression que j'aime beaucoup en coréen, si moi je ne le fais pas, qui d'autre le ferait? Alors, on ne saura pas à qui rejeter la responsabilité. Ce n'est plus le moment de nous justifier ou de se faire la responsabilité. Donc, si chacun prend la responsabilité, personne ne va souffrir, personne ne va se plaindre, tout le monde va être heureux. C'est dans cette optique-là que nous organisons pour nous éduquer nous-mêmes, partager ensemble, nous unir autour d'un sujet et trouver la solution. Voilà l'Afrique céleste que nous voulons de tous nos voeux. Voilà l'Afrique céleste que les vrais parents souhaitent. Voilà le modèle que l'Afrique doit montrer au monde. Une fois de plus, que le parent céleste, l'amour du parent céleste, ces bénédictions, la grâce des vrais parents du ciel, de la terre, de l'humanité, comble vos foyers et que cette journée soit la meilleure journée qui puisse exister. Et demain, ça sera encore plus meilleur et nous vous souhaitons le meilleur. Adieu.
Adieu. Merci beaucoup pour cette grande bénédiction. Ovation pour cette grande bénédiction donnée par notre président régional à toutes les familles bénies centrales ici présentes et à ceux qui n'ont pas pu se connecter. Donc, sans autre forme de transition, chères familles bénies centrales, nous allons tous ensemble aller vers la prière de fin. Nous prions ensemble 3 minutes. Prions, s'il vous plaît. Très cher parents célestes, très parents du ciel. Adieu. Adieu. Merci beaucoup, très chers frères et sœurs, à tous nos conférenciers de ce matin, à notre Jean-Yvon, à notre président régional, à la vice-présidente et à tous ceux qui étaient connectés. Nous allons sans plus tarder aller vers la salutation à nos vrais parents et aux parents du ciel, de la terre et de l'humanité. Chanchin, champunke, chombe, baro, ovation pour les vrais parents du ciel, de la terre et de l'humanité. Nous allons maintenant laisser la place à la technique pour les photos de famille. Surtout que ce matin, chacun est venu en couple. Tous ceux qui sont en couple, faites voir vos merveilleuses épouses et époux et que nous puissions prendre cette photo de famille, en couple. Merci beaucoup. Donc, la technique, vous avez, voilà la place pour la photo de famille.
Okay,
Okay.
share family.
All right, then I will read the family photo. All
Okay.
right, thank you very much. Today we have a lot of beautiful husband and wife together. Look at Reverend Begre and region president and Reverend Sue, Reverend Ogurie. Wow, it's a very beautiful picture. We want to promote this family photo to our blessed children. This can be really a good memory. So let us make a small heart like this. Of course, if you are a couple, don't make alone. Please make together. That's right. Wow, very beautiful. Wow, you can change your pages. Wow, we have eight pages today. Wow, that's right. Thank you very much. Wow, Reverend Tanui. Wow. Oh, and Mama Chipembe, Reverend Chipembe. Oh, Gassan together with your wife. Wow, it's very beautiful. Oh, Reverend Camara is together. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you. Let us make small heart like this. Okay. Okay, 3, 2, 1, happy. Please smile. We are promoting to your children.